Good morning. As you will have seen previously, the man came and bored all the holes on the weekend, and now I need to spend a reasonable chunk of today probably cleaning up all the piles of dirt that came out of each hole. So that's kind of all the way down here. My plan is to put that in a heap down by the metal shed down there so that it can be used for fill when we come to do the retaining wall at the top of the slip. This material will compact quite well. It's mostly clay. As long as it's dry-ish, it'll be fine. So the first hole here at the top, I don't think I need to do much with that one at all. It's pretty plumb and straight and ready for a post. I have not purchased the posts at this point, mainly because I want to be all ready for them before I do that, and also to have the builder's mix, concrete mixer, everything here ready to go. Because once I uncover these holes, I want to be able to put the posts in and concrete them in, and then that bit is done. So today I'll set about doing this. I'll probably include a little bit of time lapse, but nothing very much. I think that suffice to give you the picture that I'm dealing with a sticky mess of clay, but it needs to be done, so it will be done, but I'm not going to bore you with the rest of it. Yes, another pair of gloves. I have moved all of the clay that I'm planning to move at this point. I have left this little bit here because there's a bit of a low spot just here, and once I put the retaining boards in, I will probably need to fill against that to some extent. The reason that I removed all of this before I started on finalizing the post holes is because there is a danger obviously of that ending up in the post hole while I'm doing that work, but also it's wet and sticky and horrid, whereas I'm hoping that the stuff out of the holes will not be like that. I will take it out and put it straight in the barrow and put it on the pile. So I have expended a reasonable amount of energy, so I'm going to go and recharge at this point. Hello. Good morning. What size, yeah? These are threes. Because the next bit of the build is going to be a bit protracted due to some other things that are going on at the same time, I decided that the best plan of attack was to purchase two posts, one to go at each end, and get those set up and braced. That then gives me a line to work to for all the other post holes and posts. I had some time before lunch to quickly go and pick up the posts so that I was all prepared to carry on with that after lunch. It was forecast to be showery from about afternoon smoko, so I wanted to have this bit complete before then. I had a little interaction with the yardman at the merchant and told him I needed to replace a fence as some of the posts I put in 35 years ago had rotted at ground level. His response was that he didn't know what he was doing 35 years ago. I asked, "Were you even born then?" To which his response was, "No." We both chuckled. It's a very strange feeling to find that you are often the oldest in any particular group. This is obviously more often the case when you are with a group of tradies or other working people. It still feels strange, however. The noise you can hear in the background is a large digger over at the neighbours, removing a driveway and a hedge, hence the chainsaw you can also hear. I fixed this crosspiece on the post as I want to suspend the post off the bottom of the hole, so that when I fill the hole with concrete it will go down and under the post. I'm using a 3 metre long post at this end to make sure I have sufficient height for all eventualities. All of the timber that I'm using for the braces are the offcuts from the horizontal battens that came from the fence that I built last year over on the other side of the property. There was a bit of messing about to make sure that it was both plumb and in the right plane horizontally to line up with the fence I'm building. I was less concerned about having it lined up with the fence going up the hill, as I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that bit at this stage. In an ideal world, this post would actually be a few more meters down the boundary so that it is positioned where the boundary changes direction slightly. That was just going to be too hard at this stage due to a tree that straddles the boundary between this post and the corner post. I am not of a mind to ask the neighbour if I can remove the tree, as that's not likely to gain a favourable response. I'm not entirely convinced that this post is going to be as stable as it needs to be unless I do something to brace it. You will see later in the video that there is not a lot supporting it on the other side of the low fence. Our side of the boundary is about 1 metre higher than the other side at that point. I will most likely run the lowest retaining wall board past this post and down to the other fence in the background to add some stability to the post in that plane. And as I'll explain later, I will probably use a tie back to another post in our property to stabilise it in that direction. That tie back post will be buried in the ground, but that doesn't really matter, nothing else is going to be going down here. I have come to the end of what I'm doing today as far as the fence is concerned. So this post is in position. This is a bit of a tricky one from the perspective that there's not really much on the other side here, but there is a stone wall there, which was what I was chiseling away at with the bar when I was digging the hole. I may end up needing to put another post in the ground over here just to ground level and put a tie back between that post and that post just to keep this one vertical, but we will see. And so I have done the other end as you saw, and now I have a string line in place and I can now proceed to sort out the other holes, but that won't be tomorrow, and it may not even be this week. Okay, that's it for today. See you later.